So previously on the episodes of Adion, um, Annesse went to go and try to pick up a job, and she ran into a little girl. The little girl told Annesse that her brother was missing. Her brother Torin has been missing for a while. So, and the little girl couldn't pay. So, out of the kindness of Anissa's heart, she went out to try to find her brother. She went and didn't find anybody, ran into three bandits who tried to rob her. And she kind of laughed at them because they wanted 5 silver. And I don't think Anissa's ever had 5 silver completely in her life. So she ended up, they attacked her and she pwned them. She ultimately didn't find the little boy or the man, the kid, whatever. Um, she went back to the town about 8 o'clock at night after spending the whole day looking for him and found out that the boy ended up going crazy and killed everybody in his house. And then the Hitomi cops or police came and arrested him. And that is where we left off.
Okay. So you find yourself waking up in your room at your home once again. It is probably about 9 o'clock in the morning, and you hear the new helper sweeping in the hallways just outside your room.
I guess nobody's going to be able to sleep around here today. So I'm going to get up and get dressed. Do I hear a class going on downstairs?
You hear some commotion.
Okay. I'm going to get up, get dressed, get freshened up, and then I'm going to see about going downstairs to join a class if it's going on.
Okay. You leave your room. You see Rio standing
I greet
outside.
him. Good morning, Rio.
He kind of just grumbles unhappily. You notice that Rio, ever since he's been here for about 2 weeks, and he has been somewhat of a troublemaker. He doesn't want to do his chores, and when he does, he kind of does it half-ass. He's trying to find ways to slack off, just all around rebelling. He doesn't want to be here. You kind of understand how that felt, being that you were in his position once.
Yeah.
Not with his family per se, but you were in this position.
Yeah.
You walk out and head towards the main training area. You can go ahead and move. Having troubles moving now?
No, I'm just not. I picked it up. I got it.
So you walk into the main training area. You see a class already going, and you said you're going to join in?
Yeah, I'm going to join in. Get a good workout going.
You join the class. You find out during the class session that a lot of the people that are in the class are fairly new. They're a lot younger than when you were here just several months ago. During this time, you find out that all of the original people that were supposed to be in the class either got drafted or they got, or sorry, not drafted. Either they volunteered to join the militia, the town guard, or their families have moved out of the region. Everyone
Okay.
here is pretty much new. So ever
Okay.
since the king has been assassinated, things have been a little bit rough for the people in Hitomi. So the class goes off without a hitch. It begins, it ends. You work up a really good sweat. Um, the sensei puts you through the motions, and yeah, you get a good workout. Class finishes. It's around 1 o'clock.
Okay. I'm going to uh ask my sensei after the class is over. I'm gonna ask her, Minera, did you hear about the boy yesterday?
As she's picking up, uh, as she's picking up equipment and whatnot, you ask her. Shortly after that, you see Rio walk in with a broom, and he's starting to sweep up the floor. She turns to you and says, "What? What boy?"
Yesterday a boy went crazy and killed his whole family.
She kind of like stops what she's doing and she looks at you. So what do you?
She tells her yesterday, um, Torin, which is a kid that lives, you know, in the slums, he killed his whole family, his mother, his father, his sister. They own a bakery.
She puts her hands to her face and kind of like gasps. Oh my! You don't say.
She says, yes, I was there when they when they were pulling him out. Um, from what I heard, he used to have blonde hair. When they found him, he was completely bald, and I don't know, it was strange.
He cut off his hair.
I'm I'm not sure if he cut it or he pulled it out. I don't know. It was just it was very strange.
And this happened yesterday?
Yeah,
What
yesterday.
time?
About 7 or 8.
Makes sense. I haven't been out this morning.
Well, make sure if you go out today, be very cautious because it's getting crazy out there.
What would drive a person to do that?
I have no idea. I was asking around too, but nobody really knew. Everybody was just in shock because he was a good son. So I have no idea.
Go ahead and roll awareness. Uh, target's going to be a 3.
No successes.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm
Okay.
totally oblivious.
Okay. Well, you tell her, and she's just kind of like deep in thought, like, wow, her whole family. And what about the little girl?
Everybody he murdered.
Even the little girl.
Yep.
She just kind of like thinks off for a moment. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
She
I
kind
swear
of,
I
at that point, she kind of like claps her hands together, and she says, Rio, continue. He kind of like grumbles. You notice that Rio was like right next to you, just listening, like slowly making his way towards you, and then
Okay.
like he got like right next to you, and you didn't even notice it, and she kind of like shoos him away. Now this is continue your work. This is no this isn't a conversation for someone as young as you. He just kind of grumbles something. I'm old enough to take care of myself, kind of a thing.
Oh brother. Oh brother. And did she leave or is she still there?
Now after Rio kind of like continues his chores, She's like, well, what are your plans for today?
Um, Now that I feel good and gotten a good workout, I'm gonna go see if there's any jobs I can pick up.
She nods. She goes, well, you be careful out there.
Yeah, I will. You know, it was weird. I met Ivy yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, I was at the message board and she came up to me and asked me to go find her brother.
Did she?
She said she was very worried because her brother never leaves for this long, and I guess he was missing for over a day. And I went to go look for him, but I couldn't find him where she said that he was supposed to be with a girl. It's just I feel horrible knowing that he went crazy and did that to his family.
She kind of agrees with you. Yes.
So, well, you have a wonderful day, and if you need anything, just let me know.
She nods. She continues picking up the equipment.
I'm gonna help her pick up the equipment, and then I'm gonna go take a shower and grab some breakfast, and then go on my day.
You help clean up. It goes by fairly quickly. You guys didn't really use much equipment. You guys did
Mhm.
more of like endurance training. Okay?
Yeah.
Um, Trying to break in the. You jump in the shower, or rather the bath, then get ready, and then you head out on the.
Okay. I'm gonna head to I'm gonna head to the message boards.
Okay. You make your way. By this time, it's probably roughly around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Uh,
Okay.
you see the town market is in full swing. Everyone is. There is actually a shop on your way towards the message board. It's the Red Lotus. That is a shop that's right there. And normally that restaurant is booming, like really busy. But today, you notice that there's a sign out front as you pass by, and it says closed.
Huh.
And they are almost never closed.
Mhm. That's bizarre.
So, anyways, you get to the message boards, and you see, I believe you should still have access to the message.
Okay.
There's another rat's quest on there. If I could.
Let's actually do Have You Seen My Husband?
Have you seen my husband?
The last one.
Okay. All right. So, um, okay. So, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go speak to the wife, M. Sue, and get whatever information I can from her about where her husband was
Okay.
and things like that.
So you go traveling to M. Sue's residence. It's around middle class home. Nothing too special about it. The one thing that does catch your attention as you approach is that she has three kids outside of her door playing with a ball. and they see you when you come walking up, and one of the boys, there's two boys and a girl. One of the boys yells, "Mommy, mommy, we have another adventurer!"
Okay, another one?
Yeah. So, um, the mother comes out to the door. Around that time is when you walk up to it. The little girl
Yeah.
says, "Are you going to help find my daddy too?"
I'm gonna try.
You see a woman come outside from in the house. She's a human. She's probably about 5'8", about maybe 130 pounds. She's got her hair up, an apron on. It looks like she's scrubbing something in the house.
I greet her. I said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just seen your post. Can you tell me any information on where you think he might be or where, like, how many people do you have looking for him?
She kind of gives you a little bit of an attitude, and she says, "If you got my message, then you should have gotten the information on the message. Unless you don't know how to read. This is going to be difficult if you don't know how to
I'm well aware of how to read. It just doesn't
read."
say any information besides the fact that he went to work and hasn't been seen since. My question is, where are his hangouts?
Have you tried the tavern? I've tried the tavern. He wasn't there. Both of them. She has a real nasty attitude, at least by the tone that she's given you.
I put my
You
hands up.
roll an
Okay.
insight. Target's going to be a 4.
2 successes.
Okay. So you kind of get the feeling that you are not the first or the second adventurer or person to inquire about her husband.
Okay.
But she kind of has one of those things where when you get asked the same question by a bunch of people
Yeah.
and still no results.
She she says, I'm sorry, I guess I'm coming about this the wrong way. I want to help you find your husband. Not I believe children should have both parents. Do you want to sit down and we can talk about this?
She kind of like looks you up and down. She kind of looks you up and down, sighs, throws up her hands. She just kind of like motions you in.
I walk in, dust my feet before I step in her house.
You walk into her house. Her house inside looks surprisingly clean, despite the fact of having 3 kids. Um, you walk in, there's like a little hallway that leads into a living room. You sit down on one of the couches as she motions you to. She sits down on the opposite couch, taking off her apron before she does.
She says, I'm really sorry you're having to go through this, and I'm sure it's a huge ordeal. I just want to make sure that I get enough information to help me find him with the least issues.
She says, "Well, you're more persistent than the last 5 who've visited my door."
Well, I want to make sure it's done right. She says, can you tell me anything else? Does he have any friends that you're aware of?
Friends. She laughs and kind of scoffs. "No, I'm afraid not. He's a very hard worker, but aside from work, he doesn't have much of a life with 3 kids and all."
Okay. And what did his job say?
That's just the thing. They won't speak to me.
And why won't they speak to you?
They don't feel the need to. They say after work ends, whatever their employees do isn't their concern.
And I know this is an awful question, but do you think there's another person?
Before you could finish that sentence, she says, "Stop right there. No.
Okay.
Bill is a good man, a loyal man, a hard-working man." She starts crying. Like it just like erupts. Frustration turns into sadness and she just breaks down and starts crying.
I sit next to her and I softly like grab her hands and I say, "It's okay. I'm here to help."
You lean over.
I
No.
cup her hands in my hands.
She like breaks free and like just starts wiping her tears. He goes, "Bill is he's never done this before. This has never happened."
Is there any money issues that could be?
She kind of like looks at you, wiping an eye, kind of gives you that sarcastic look, like there's always money issues.
Did he owe money to people?
No, God, no. Heaven, no. Let me rephrase that. She doesn't say God or heavens. She says, "Oh dear, no."
Okay. Does he gamble?
She thinks about that for a minute. She goes, "Honestly, I couldn't say. He's never mentioned it.
Okay.
But what he does at the tavern, I don't keep tabs on him like that. I have three wild ones to look after."
Okay.
As she says that, the front door opens and the boys are chasing the girl in the house, and she yells at them, "Take off your shoes! You're tracking in the mud."
So he goes to both taverns, you said.
She kind of shrugs. "I've been to both."
Okay, but maybe can you tell me what it looks like?
She gives you a description. He's
Okay.
about 6 feet, 6 feet one, 180 to 200. He's got black hair, no distinguishing features other than he's well built.
Does he have any family in the area?
Looking at it,
Okay. And rough age?
she kind of thinks for a moment. 28? What does that matter? She kind of says.
Well, I want to make sure I'm looking. I don't. I want to make sure that I'm not looking for an older gentleman compared to a younger gentleman. I'm just trying to get.
She kind of like just waves you off dismissively. "I'm sorry."
She says, okay. And he is human, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
She
I
kind of
will do
gives you
my
a look like,
best.
"Of course he's human."
Well,
And then she realizes and sees you and is like, "Oh, sorry."
snooty beaver. Okay. I will do my best to try to find him, and I will be checking back in with you when I have something to respond.
She just nods. She gets up and walks you out to the door.
Yeah.
You see some mud marks on the floor and she gets all mad. As you walk
Well,
away from her house, you hear her yelling at the kids.
make him clean it. Make him clean it. Okay. I'm going to head to the. I'm going to head to his job and I am going to inquire there. Um, the Magrin General Store.
Okay. Uh, okay. Oh, that's Megner.
Oh,
So go ahead and find your way to the general store. So you start walking to the general store. Go ahead and roll a awareness. Target's going to be a 5.
One success.
Okay, so you walk to the general store. Just about when you're like half a block away, you overhear a couple talking. Something along the lines of bandits have raided another caravan scheduled for town. It looks like we're going to be short on supplies for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna follow them a little bit. Do they say anything else?
They bicker, they complain about how the guard's not really doing anything and how everybody is so paranoid about a war that isn't happening.
Hmm.
That's just more of the political talk of Hitomi, how ever since joining with the Galrith, Hitomi is officially sided with Galrith, which is the region's capital. Ever since that happened, the military, or the town guard, I should say, haven't been very active with the concerns of the town.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they're kind of focusing more on the safety of protecting it, which also is an increase of the message boards. Go ahead and roll another awareness check for me. Your target's going to be a 3.
Three successes.
Okay, so after you follow them a little bit, you get to, I want to say, like right there. You see a shop being constructed. It's just about done. And there is a sign out front. It still says under construction. They're pretty much done. You think maybe another day, maybe 2, the shop will be open for business. It just says Hunter's Guild.
Wonder what a hunter's guild is.
Yeah, you've never had one in Hitomi before. Taking notes?
Yeah. Can you hear me typing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what do you do now?
I am going to keep eyeballing the Hunters Guild, and then I'm going to continue on to the shop.
Yeah, you just see people working inside, building, finishing up the countertops. Nothing out of the ordinary. You don't see them like putting up any wares or anything, though. It's just more of like countertops.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your way to the general store.
Yes.
Okay. You get to the general store. You see a fairly decent sized shop. In bold, big letters, you see general store on the window. You can't really see inside. There is a little bit of light coming from within, but with the general store imprint on the window, it pretty much covers the whole thing. You walk inside, and as soon as you open the door, you hear a bell chime from above the door. As you walk in, you see camping supplies almost directly in front of you. There's like a little rack blocking you and the counter. Behind the counter, you do see, or not blocking, sorry, it's kind of like, I want to say, how tall are you?
5'5". I'm 5'1".
Okay, so you could see over the top of the rack. It's the rack itself is maybe like, I want to say like 4.5 feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see over it. Um, you see an older man behind the counter. He looks up and he kind of waves you over and he says, "Greetings, please come in." He looks like an older gentleman, human. He's aging. He's got he's got a mustache that kind of droops down to like his shoulders, and he's got this beret looking type hat on, and he's in some kind of robes. They look they look decent quality. They're not too fancy. They're not too raggedy. He says,
Okay.
"Welcome to my shop. I am Megner. How can I help you today?"
She says, "Hey, Ignar, I was actually looking for some rations."
"Rations, yes." He kind of like motions you to follow him over to off to the side of his counter.
I go and I look.
He points out where the rations are. He says, "How many days are you looking to purchase?"
How many does he have there?
On display, he's got about 2 days.
She says, "And the price?"
He says 10 coffers for a day's worth.
That's highway robbery.
Is that what you say?
No, I'm just like, 10?
He kind of like frowns and he says, "Yes, I know, but we're having a food shortage here."
She says, "Yes, I've heard there's been some issues."
He just nods and he says, "It's a shame, but with that comes higher cost for demand."
She nods. She
You
says,
notice he
"Yes."
grins a little bit at that.
Yeah. She says, I was also looking for your help, sir."
Sorry?
She says, "I am acquaintances with Bill's wife."
He kind of does that.
She says, "I understand what a man does
He starts
on his
walking
own."
back behind the counter.
She says, "If you could just tell me, has he have any issues?"
Issues, aside from not showing up from work?
Yes, has he had any issues here while at work?
His personal life doesn't concern me.
She says, "Do you not wish that he would return?"
He kind of thinks about it and he says, "Yes, I really do hope he returns so I could fire him."
She kind of laughs like, "You're such a jerk face." Um, was he a good employee before? No.
Actually, he was quite a good.
The last time he was here, did he have any visitors?
He says, "Missy, we run a shop. We always have visitors."
Well, there's shopping patrons and then there's visitors.
Personal visitors? No, it's not allowed.
Okay. She says, "Well, I thank you for your time. I really wish you could have been a little bit more forthcoming."
He doesn't say anything.
I get ready and I leave. Highway robbery.
Well,
Tents, coffers, my rumpus.
like like he said. there's a food shortage going on.
And he's going to highly take advantage of it.
He's a businessman.
I'm sure. That's what we all say. Okay. I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to the... I'm going to go to the Flaming Tap.
Where are you going?
The Flaming Tap.
The
Flagon Tap.
Okay. So you go to the flag. You walk up to the Flag and Tap.
Yeah.
You see there are 2 guards outside. Two guards standing outside. As you approach, they look at you. They don't say anything.
Where's my token? And I see a
Oh,
monk and a half-elf run away.
no, I'm reorganizing
Yeah.
tokens. Anything on the gray just isn't. You can put yourself on the map. So you walk up. You see the guards outside, out front.
I just keep walking.
You walk in. They don't stop you or anything. There is one thing of note on the outside that I don't have on the map. Off to the left side of the stairwell is a trough for the horses.
Oh, okay.
So I have to make note because one of the characters, Surak, somewhat took a bath in one of them. So
No, I wouldn't. Put it past him.
So yeah. So you walk in. You see there are several customers already in the tavern. You see a waitress off to the right. You see at this table, you see several dwarves with emblems of the horned. It's the dwarven faction, the Battle Helm. And Battle Helm. She's serving them. She sees you walk in, the waitress, and she says, "Welcome, welcome. Please take a seat. I'll be right with you."
Okay. Let me go sit over here.
You make your way through the tavern. What is your allure?
22.
22. As you sit down, you see one of the guys that were sitting at the other table walks over.
A dwarf?
And he walks over and he says, "Eating by yourself today? Now that is a crime." And he takes a seat. I am Gendry.
She says, Gendry, I'm pleased to meet your acquaintance, but I'm waiting for somebody.
Oh, he kind of like looks around, puts his hand out, or puts his hands out, and is like, "Where?" He says with a little grin. He says, "Now." She says,
stares at him with evil eyes.
He says, "Now, if you were an acquaintance of mine, I wouldn't keep you waiting."
She just keeps staring at him like, are you done?
He ignores your stares and he says, "So what brings you to Hitomi?" At that time, the waitress walks over. And she goes, "Oh, what can I get you?" "Oh, Gendry." She kind of like looks at Gendry, then looks at you.
She says, I'd like a warm milk, please.
She looks to Gendry. She kind of the waitress looks at you, and then looks back at Gendry to back to you, and she kind of mouths, "Are you okay?"
She asks me if I'm okay.
She doesn't say it; she mouths it.
Yeah. I just kind of like shake my head no, like no.
Okay. She's the waitress turns back to Gendry and says, "Gendry, I don't believe that you are with her. Please sit over here and I'll get you another ale." He kind of says, "Another ale? Oh, right, now we're talking." And he goes back to his table. The waitress shakes her head and says, "Sorry about Gendry. I'll be back with the milk."
Thank you. Was he a dwarf?
Yeah. So after a moment, she goes, gets your drink, and comes back. She puts it on the
She
table.
thinks so.
She says, "Are you hungry? Any food? Anything?"
She says, no, thank you. I'm okay. I just needed a drink.
She says, "That's 2 coffers."
She hands her 5.
She looks at you, like, confused.
She says, am I not supposed to tip?
Oh, she goes, "No, well, of course." She kind of looks at the room with this lot.
I thought like she insulted her for a second.
She kind of like looks at you for a moment before leaving, and she goes, "I've seen you around town before."
She says, really?
You're not new here."
No, I've lived here all my life.
That explains. He starts to walk away.
She thinks so. On her next round, she's gonna ask her about Beale.
Okay. So a few minutes pass. You see the bartender just kind of like talking with this guy over here. After a while, the waitress comes back around and says if there's anything else.
She says, no, thank you. I want to thank you for Gentry.
She kind of like smirks and says, "Gendry's he's a regular here. He likes to oh, how can I say it nicely? He likes to butt into people's business." She laughs when you say that.
She says, I was actually trying to help somebody. Could you tell me, do you know Bill?
Bill.
She
Bill. Sue's
describes
husband?
him. I'm sorry?
She says, Bill. Sue's husband?
Yes.
She says, "Yeah, I know Bill. He hasn't been here in a couple of days."
So he's a regular here.
She says, "Small town like this, everyone's a regular."
She says, Sue's kind of worried because she hasn't seen him in a few days.
She kind of like takes a seat.
I told her I would try to come and see if I could try to find him for her, being the fact that she says this is the first time he's ever disappeared.
She nods, listening.
She says, do you know if he's had any issues while he was here?
Bill? No, he's a sweetheart. Really hard worker, really loves his family.
Yeah.
That's all he talks about is his kids and his wife. He's thinking.
And he's never had any issues with patrons.
No, Bill never gets into any fights or anything like that. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I did see him in here the other day talking to some fellow I'd never seen before.
She's
Yeah.
really.
She's just kind of like, she's trying to like recall. He goes, yes, I tried to get close and help him, but he 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 didn't even order anything.
Huh.
She kind of
Do you
like
think
snaps out of it. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm Dia, by the way. How rude of me.
she says, Annesse, it's great to meet you. I shake her hand.
You there we go. There we go. You should see her name now, right?
Yeah, I see her name.
I'm sorry, what did you ask her?
Um, were they together, or do you think that they were just talking?
She says no. Originally, uh, they were in here separate, but then I did see them talking to one another. You see Gendry kind of like lean around from the table. Obviously, you guys said something that may have piqued his interest.
Oh, God.
She
I ask her, can you tell me what he looked like?
says, that's just it. I didn't get a look at him.
Hmm.
He was wearing a dark green cloak, though. I don't know how much that's going to help.
Hmm.
You see Gendry walk over. Is my ears hearing you correct? You're looking for Bill? And he looks to Dia and says, dark green cloak, you say?
Oh, gosh.
Dia is just like, yeah, a couple nights ago. He thinks about it and he says, yeah. You know, I think that he might have been somebody from that caravan that came through the other day. What is it? The one with the loot? Dia says, the loot and stuff. He says, yeah, I think he was hired on. That guy was hired on with them. He was foaming at the mouth about some job that he had to turn down because he was going to the loot and stuff, and he was looking for a replacement to take him on it. What was the name? What was the name? He's trying to think. He kind of looks at you, and he's kind of like moves over, and he kind of like sits down next to you, like scooting you over.
I put at least 2 seats between us.
So he sits down. He says, "Yeah. It was some job with what was that?" He's trying to think. He scoots a little closer.
I move away.
um, he kind of looks at you and he says, "Is that all you're gonna have? Just milk? Milk?
Yes.
Milk.
Yes.
Surely a girl like you could drink something stronger. Where's the ale?"
I'll leave that all to you.
He shakes his head. Oh, what a way. 1 second here. Notes, but I haven't converted my notes to roll 20. He says, okay. He says, yes, Bill. He says, yeah, he was working, the job was something through with Eskel.
Eskel?
Yeah, he runs an import business. Travelers Express.
I've never heard of that shop.
He says, yeah, it's big business down near the south gate.
She says, well, thank you. I appreciate you, Gendry.
He kind of grins. He doesn't move, though. He's still sitting there with you. Takes another drink of the ale he brought with him. So,
God.
what are your plans for later? you, you moved. He says that and looks and sees you down at the other table.
She says, oh, my plans. I need to take care of my 10 kids. You know how...
10 kids?
Yeah, 10 kids.
You would normally think that would turn a guy away, but his eyes just brighten as this little dwarf gets excited. Oh, you are a fertile one.
Oh, God. Never mind. Never mind. I take it back. I was trying to scare him away.
Yeah, he's all over you now. Like, not literally,
Oh,
but he's right there with you. 10 kids, you say?
She says, yes. I must go. It's probably feeding time.
You see Dia come over. Gendry, come on. Come on, leave her alone. Gendry's like, did you hear this, Dia? 10 kids! 10! Imagine the number of dwarves we could have.
Gross. Except for I'm an elf.
You're a wood elf. I don't know why I thought you were a half elf.
No.
I thought you were a half elf, sorry. Anyway, yeah, so he's imagine the kids we could have. You see you see the bartender laughing, apparently catching wind of the conversation that's going on over there.
She says, Dia, it's been great. Thank you, Gendry. And she starts heading for the door.
Okay. You head for the door and he's we'll meet again, my love. As you're leaving.
Oh, Lord. Gross.
So,
wouldn't she even be attractive to a dwarf? She ain't got no hair.
That's up to you.
No, would a dwarf find her attractive? She's an elf.
Oh, well, apparently to Gendry, he's willing to overlook the fact that you don't have a beard.
Okay. Weirdo.
So, you find yourself outside of the tavern.
Oh, Traveler's Express. It is a shop.
Yeah.
Okay. What time is it?
At this point, it's probably about 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. I'm gonna start heading down to Traveler's Express.
Okay. You make your way through the town, heading to the Traveler's Express. You get there. Give me if I have better description.
Oh God.
Okay. You walk up, you see a fairly big looking warehouse. You see crates inside the warehouse. You see about 3 garage gates opened up. In each one of the gates, you see horses connected to carriages, and they are loading up. You got workers loading up the wagons with crates and other things.
Other things.
Crates, rugs. You walk up and you see one of the guards that is on duty there walk over, and he says, "Excuse me, do you have business here?"
I was actually hoping to speak to the manager.
See, business, or he looks you up and down. Pleasure.
Definitely business.
He just kind of nods and he says, okay, just wait right here. What's your name?
Annesse.
Niece. He kind of walks back inside. You see him wave over another guard as he does. They talk for a moment. The other guard comes over and like keeps an eye on you. And then that guard that you were speaking to walks inside. A moment
Okay.
later, he returns with a short-looking human. He's about 5'2", probably about 240 pounds, balding, looks fairly older, maybe you want to say in his mid to late 30s. And he walks over to you, kind of waddling. Says, I'm Mescal. What business do we have?
Did everybody leave or are they all still there?
No, the guards, everyone's still doing their job, and the guards are right there. The guard that you spoke to is right there with him as well.
Okay. She says, Eskel, I'm Annesse. She says, I'm pleased to meet you.
What do you want?
Ooh.
Straight to the point.
She says, I'm actually here about Bill.
Bill. He looks to the guard, back to you.
She says, I've been told that he was working for you, but now he's disappeared.
He kind of
And
like
I'm just,
makes a shocked face, like, or a surprised face, like, a Bill that works for me? He says, I don't know a Bill. Do you know a Bill? He looks to the guard. The guard shakes his head no. Sorry, never heard of him. And he turns around and starts walking away.
she says, well, he was 6'1", black hair, young. From town. She's like following him.
The guard stops you. He's walking inside.
Crap. She says, I don't know what to say.
I'll give you a minute. Take a second. Think about it. And I just noticed that I don't have any game music on. I must have.
Yeah, it hasn't been playing since before we started.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I've noticed that some of the music with this, it stops after so long, but the track itself keeps going, but it's just like dead space. And it'll have like 5 minutes of dead space. Weird. Anyway, so he's walking away back inside. He's about to cut through. He's about to cut through 2 horses.
God, I can't think of anything to ask him. Can I roll insight to see if he was lying to me?
You could have, but he's already walking away.
Leaving me.
You know you want to do something.
I know I do.
Well, I can sense
I'm just trying not to get kidnapped right now.
What do you mean kidnapped?
Because I'm little.
Oh, yeah, play the little card now. I don't buy it. Buy it one bit.
Especially with this guard all up on me.
Several guards out front. You got like, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 guards per entranceway.
See all these guards, and they're gonna just take me and tie me up and put me in the back of a trunk, and I'll be never seen again.
It'd be worse fates.
Oh yeah. Great. Now that you've died, let's make a new character,
Oh
Crystal.
no. So. Oh, I forgot, by the way, for the stream. Something. One of the players currently in jail. Slammer. Yeah. I'll show you later. For Surak.
I see he has like, I don't know, like a gate over him or something.
Oh, yeah, on the town map he's got he's behind bars.
That's so rude.
If you zoom in, you can see the bars.
Oh yeah, I see him. Rude.
Surak. Anyway, so what are you gonna do?
I am gonna tell the guard. She says, I know I'm probably not the first, and I won't be the last to ask. I just want to help try and find Bill for his family.
The guard just kind of stares at you like he doesn't know what you're talking about.
She says, do you really want a lot of people coming and looking at your business?
He says, this is the first we've heard of Bill. And on that note, it rolled twice?
It says 3 times, an 86, a 38, and a 2. I like the 2.
I bet you do. There we go.
2.
Tweaked out. Okay. On that note, you hear one of the workers from inside. He's all, Bill? Yeah, we hired Bill about a day and a half ago. This catches the attention of Eskel, who kind of like turns. Why am I the first to hear about this? Why is this the first time to hear about this? And he walks over there. He talks to the guy.
I will start walking that way.
The guard doesn't let you.
She says, hey.
You never made it past the outside gate entrance.
I was trying to push my way over there.
Yeah, that's not happening. So, you overhear, you have listen, right?
Yeah, I have listen.
Yeah. You overhear the guard telling you that they had somebody quit and that they found a replacement so we didn't have to find him. And he tells them that it was a caravan heading to one of the south villages.
Okay.
He's just kind of like, why did we hire an outsider? Who authorized that? And they were like, well, it was kind of last minute and you already had gone home for the day. He kind of just gets upset and he says, which village? He kind of says it was the one taking I don't know the name, I've never been there, but it's the one that you have to cut through the farmland. You just see Eskel's head drop. He turns back to you and he says, you. And he points and he walks over there. He says, what business is this? What business is this of yours?
She says, I know his wife and he's been missing, and I'm trying to help her find him.
He's like, yeah. And what is this? What is this all about? You can tell by the way he's talking to you right now that he does not care about the guy at all.
She says he's missing.
Yeah, I got that. What's the reason? What is that all you're here for, is a missing person?
She says, but of course, he's missing with 3 children at home.
Yeah, those probably better off. He kind of like waves it away. He says, that caravan that apparently, he looks back at the guy that told him the news, this Bill character was on. He obviously didn't make it to his destination. They should have been back the next morning. I have not heard from anyone in that caravan.
She says, where was the caravan headed?
He tells you that it's a village to the south. It's about half a day's travel from here.
She's okay.
But you're not too familiar with the southern region.
Okay.
So you pretty much know Hitomi and the small patch of land up north.
Uh-huh.
And a little bit of the Ashitoku region, which is the next region over.
Uh-huh.
But you've never really gone south. South is also, further south is where Galrith is.
Okay. She says, but you have to cut through farmland to get to that, where they were going.
He just kind of like says, there's many routes to get there.
She says, but I'd like to know the route they would have taken.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you that information. That's trade secret.
She says, well, I'm going to go look. And that's why I'm asking.
He kind of just gets a little grin. And he says, well, then I guess this is where I can make you an offer.
Oh, boy. She says, speak.
He says, since you're going in that direction anyways. He says, since you're going in that direction anyway, should you find my caravan, just report back to me with what you find.
And what's in it for me?
He kind of like points a finger at you, waggling it. Says, oh, you are a smart and lewd businesswoman. I like that. I like that a lot. He says, if you do this, he kind of like thinks about it. Says, I could part 5 silver.
She says,
You
I'm
see
sure.
the guard, before you say that, the guard outside says, I hope you got friends going with you. Eskel kind of gets pissed off, smacks, and says, hey, don't you have something to guard? Go do it.
She looks at the guard and then turns around to Eskel.
Mm-hmm.
She says, you know, I do not mind helping. She says, but I do not like to be taken advantage of. She says, I'm sure your wares on that caravan would be a lot more worth to me than 5 silver.
He just looks at you for a moment. He says, fine. 10 silver, but you're going to help carry the stuff back.
She shakes his hand.
He shakes your hand.
She says, I'll let you know what I find.
He nods.
She turns and walks away.
As you walk away, he turns and he goes back to whatever he was doing. You walk outside, and the guard that was talking to you, that was stopping you, and the guard that commented, He says, I hope you're not planning to go out there alone.
She says, no, not at all.
He says bandits have been raiding our caravans from the north as well as the south.
She says, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know.
He nods. He says, good luck. I hope you make it back.
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm going to head to Sue's, and I'm going to let her know that just a day ago he was hired on to be in a caravan.
Yeah, okay. You go back to Sue's. You knock on the door. You hear one of the kids running, opens the door, looks at you. It's the little girl. She says, Ma, she's back. The mother comes. I told you about answering the door. Kind of like smacks the kid. And smacks her, like moves her out of the way. Go play. She looks and sees who it is and sees that it's you. And she kind of like gets this sad look on her face. She sighs. Giving up already?
She says, no, that's definitely not what this is about. I just wanted to let you know I've made contact and it seems like he took a job and I'm on my way to go out further. I just wanted to let you know that as far as I know right now, he's still safe.
A job? What job? Why wouldn't you tell me?
I don't know. It was a day ago he took a caravan. So I'm on my way to go find the caravan.
She gets mad and smacks her head, face palms. He goes, caravan job? What the fool? It is too dangerous, especially in these times.
She says, well, I wanted to keep you informed to let you know because I'm going to be gone.
She asks you some questions. She says, like, what caravan? From who?
She just says, I'm not sure what caravan. I just keeping you updated. Because I know you're so worried.
She thanks you, says, please keep me informed.
She says, but of course. She turns around and leaves.
You leave.
Okay. I need to find a group.
Well. Fun times.
Fun times. Can I make a bulletin for the bulletin board?
Yeah, you can. You got writing, right?
Yeah, I do. I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but
Ain't got no money to pay nobody.
That is true. And what you're getting paid, you would have to split it between however
everybody.
Equal parts, depending on how many people you want or whatnot.
How many coffers are in there silver?
60.
60. Okay. I know how much I would pay the troll.
What are you gonna? The troll? What troll?
The orc.
Oh. Well,
I will give you 30 of these shiny, brand new coffers.
Well, there you go. I don't know. I mean, you're making a pretty good deal out of it, but I don't know. I don't know. But see, you got to remember too that the Eskel is only paying you to find his wares, not to find Bill.
Yeah, no, I know. His caravan.
Yeah.
So. Or maybe do I even need to pay him at all?
Good question.
I guess I can't do anything until I find a group. Is it still early enough to go kill some rats?
You want to go kill some rats?
Let's make some money.
Okay. Yeah, you go back to the message board. You see some rat jobs, cleaning out the rat cellars. There's, I want to say, 2 more rat postings, all for the slums region, which is pretty much in the general area where you're at over here.
Okay.
So, yeah, you take a couple jobs. You get a day's worth of pay from the 3 jobs. Not total. I mean, not all 3, but for all 3 jobs, you got the day's worth.
Okay.
Which is 20 coffers.
Okay. 20 coffers each or 20 coffers total?
Total.
What?
Total. And that takes about, I want to say...
Just one of them was 20 coffers for the day.
Yeah.
And I did 3?
That was the major posting, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So it takes about 5 hours to complete that.
Okay.
So what time does that make it? It was 3, so it's about 8 o'clock at night.
Okay. I'm going to get ready to go home then.
You get home.
Take a definite deep shower because I'm sure I'm gross.
Oh yes, hunting rats is always fun.
Icky.
Take your bath, and
Deep.
you call that a night.
Okay.
And I think that is a good place to call it for today for this session 0.5.
Good.
So, thank you for playing.
Thank you.
I shall see everyone else.